Look around you. Comfort is killing people. Not bullets, not poverty, not failure. Comfort. Most are sleepwalking through life, numb, soft, distracted, blaming everyone but themselves. And you know what's worse? Some of them know it and still do nothing. This is your wake-up call. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. It's time to stop making excuses and start rebuilding from the ground up, because the version of you that got you here isn't strong enough to take you where you want to go. Victim mentality is a mindset where you believe the world owes you something, that your failures are because of what others did to you, and that you have no control over your circumstances. It's a mental prison disguised as comfort. When you operate from this place, you give away your power. You surrender responsibility for your life and wait for someone else to come fix it, but no one's coming. There is no hero at the end of this story, only you, either standing or staying stuck. People with victim mentality constantly talk about what went wrong, who hurt them, why they couldn't succeed, and how the odds were stacked against them. It sounds logical at first. Maybe their childhood was rough. Maybe their job fired them unfairly. Maybe they got betrayed. Sure, those things happen. Life's unfair, but so what? The real world doesn't reward excuses. It rewards action. Life doesn't pause for your pain. It keeps moving, and if you don't move with it, you get left behind. The real danger of the victim mindset isn't the pain itself. It's how it tricks you into thinking you're justified in staying weak. It feeds on your emotions. It tells you comfort is safety, that waiting is wise, that the system is rigged, so why bother trying? It numbs your drive and gives you a false sense of righteousness. You start to believe that since life hasn't been fair, you have the right to stay angry, lazy, and stuck. But here's the truth. You don't. You have the right to fight back. You have the right to rebuild. But no one will hand you that fight. You've got to choose it. You can't rebuild your life while carrying a victim mentality. You have to kill it. You have to look at your life, own every single mistake, every wasted year, every bad choice, and take full responsibility, even for the things that weren't your fault. Why? Because responsibility gives you control. Blame puts your life in someone else's hands. Responsibility puts it back in yours. This doesn't mean you don't feel pain or acknowledge setbacks. It means you don't let them define you. It means you feel it, learn from it, and use it as fuel. People who rebuild themselves don't waste time crying about why things are hard. They accept that pain is part of the price, and they pay it in full. Victim mentality is seductive. It's easy. It feels good to be right and bitter, but it kills your future. It steals your ambition. If you want to rebuild, you have to burn that mindset to the ground. No more why me. Start asking what now. That's when the shift happens. That's when power returns. That's when the rebuilding begins. Discipline over motivation is one of the most important mindset shifts anyone can make when trying to rebuild themselves. Motivation is like a spark. It lights fast, burns bright, and dies just as quickly. Discipline is the engine. It runs whether the spark is there or not. The truth is, most people wait to feel ready before they act. They wait for motivation to hit them like a wave, to make the gym easy, to make work exciting, to make focus automatic. But motivation doesn't work that way. It's inconsistent, unpredictable, and soft. If you rely on it, you'll show up only when you feel good, and that means you'll show up rarely. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't ask for your mood, your energy level, or your excuses. It's a decision, a contract you sign with yourself and follow no matter what. You wake up early, not because it feels good, but because you said you would. You train, study, build, grind, not because you're hyped, but because it's what needs to be done. People who succeed long-term don't have more motivation. They have more control. They've trained themselves to act regardless of emotion. They've made discipline a habit, not a reaction. You can't rebuild yourself on feelings. Feelings are liars. One day you'll feel like a winner. The next day you'll feel like trash. You'll feel tired, bored, anxious, unworthy. And if you listen to those feelings, you'll never move forward. Discipline is the anchor. It's what keeps you steady when your mind is screaming to quit. It's what gets you through those 5 a.m. wake-ups, those nights when you're exhausted, those weekends when everyone else is out wasting time and you're still grinding. Discipline is freedom. It sounds harsh at first, but it's the exact opposite. When you master discipline, you become untouchable. You don't depend on motivation, people, or perfect circumstances. You just execute. That kind of consistency compounds day after day. It builds momentum, and that momentum becomes your edge. It separates you from the average. Anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can post a quote or do one workout, but the man or woman who shows up day after day without fail, no matter what, that person becomes dangerous. That person becomes unrecognizable over time. The world respects discipline. Results respect discipline. And more importantly, your future self will respect it. It's not about being in the mood. It's about making yourself move even when everything inside you wants to stop. You think motivation is what makes champions. No, it's discipline when they're sick. Discipline when they're broke. Discipline when they've got every excuse to quit and they show up anyway. That's where the real transformation happens. That's what separates the weak from the unbreakable. Control your environment or your environment will control you. It's not optional. The people you surround yourself with, the spaces you spend time in, the content you consume, and the habits you reinforce every day are shaping who you are becoming, whether you realize it or not. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they live in toxic, weak, lazy environments that pull them down every time they try to rise. You can't rebuild yourself while staying in the same place that broke you. Look at your circle. Are the people around you disciplined, focused, and pushing themselves? Or are they complaining, settling, and wasting time? Energy is contagious. If your friends are aimless, unfocused, or constantly stuck in the past, guess what? You'll become just like them, no matter how ambitious you claim to be. You cannot outgrind your environment forever. Eventually, it will slow you down, wear you out, and make quitting feel easier than fighting. You don't have to hate people to lead them, but you do have to prioritize yourself if you're serious about change. That might mean cutting ties with distractions. That might mean moving in silence while others laugh at your discipline. That might mean spending more time alone so you can rebuild your mindset without noise or negativity poisoning it. That isolation isn't weakness, it's a forge. It's where clarity, focus, and inner strength are built. The same rule applies to what you feed your mind. You scroll junk, you think junk. You binge garbage, you become garbage. Every video, song, post, and conversation is either sharpening you or dulling you. If you spend hours watching people who complain, gossip, or glamorize failure, your subconscious absorbs that energy. If you want to change how you think, you have to change what you let in. Feed your brain like your life depends on it, because it does. Listen to real voices, read powerful books, watch people who live with excellence. Give your mind a new standard to live up to. Even your physical space matters. Your room, your desk, your kitchen. Are they clean, organized, and built for discipline? Or are they chaotic, lazy, and full of distractions? If your environment makes comfort easy and effort hard, you're setting yourself up to fail. You can't rebuild yourself in a place built for collapse. You have to engineer a setting where focus is natural and progress is expected. Put your goals in your face. Remove your temptations. Make growth your default. Rebuilding yourself means becoming someone new. That requires stepping out of old patterns and old environments or where those patterns live. You don't have to wait for the perfect setup. You just have to start removing what weakens you and replacing it with what strengthens you. One decision at a time, one space at a time, one relationship at a time. When your environment aligns with your goals, the rebuild doesn't feel forced. It feels inevitable. Reinventing yourself relentlessly means refusing to stay the same no matter how far you think you've come. It's about killing comfort over and over again, even when you've made progress, especially when you made progress. The world doesn't reward who you were last year, last month, or even yesterday. It rewards who you are right now. Most people get trapped in the illusion of, I've done enough. They hit one goal, make a little progress, get a bit of praise, and suddenly they ease off. That's where decline begins. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you start falling behind. You have to be brutal with your own evolution. You have to look at your life daily and ask, is this version of me strong enough for the life I want next? If the answer is no, and most of the time it is, then it's time to upgrade. That means change, that means discomfort, that means taking apart habits, beliefs, routines, and even parts of your identity that once worked but no longer serve your future. Reinvention isn't always loud. It's not always a complete collapse and rebuild. Sometimes it's subtle, waking up earlier, tightening discipline, dropping a bad habit, replacing a weak mindset, but it's constant. The world around you is evolving. Competition is getting sharper. Information is moving faster. If you're not adapting, you're falling behind. People who win in the long run don't rely on who they were. They destroy old versions of themselves as soon as those versions stop serving them. They let go of outdated beliefs, emotional attachments, and even relationships that can't keep up with their growth. It's not about being cold, it's about being committed to excellence. Reinvention requires honesty. You have to look at your own reflection and call out your weaknesses without flinching. That kind of self-awareness is rare because it's painful, but pain is where change begins. You can't fix what you won't face. If you're lying to yourself about your discipline, your consistency, your habits, or your results, then you're building on sand. Be ruthless with the truth. That's the foundation for a real rebuild. You're not meant to stay the same. You're supposed to evolve into someone more powerful, more focused, more resilient with every version. Reinvention isn't a one-time act, it's a way of life. You outgrow goals, you outgrow people, you outgrow mindsets. And when that happens, you don't cling to what's comfortable. You move forward without hesitation. You burn the old so the new can rise. Most people stay stuck because they keep trying to succeed as the same version of themselves that failed. They keep recycling old habits, old routines, old ways of thinking and expecting new outcomes. That's not how transformation works. You rebuild by becoming unrecognizable to the person you used to be. And then you do it again and again until a gap between who you are and who you used to be is so wide, you wouldn't even recognize your former self if you passed them on the street. Pain is the path. It's not the obstacle, not the punishment, not the sign you're on the wrong track. It is the way forward. Most people run from pain. They numb it, avoid it, distract themselves from it, hoping that life will get easier if they just stay comfortable long enough. But that's not how anything worth having is built. Pain is where dreams go to die. Pain is where growth is born. Every version of yourself that's stronger, sharper, more capable, it's hiding on the other side of pain you haven't faced yet. Want to rebuild your life? Then get ready to bleed for it. Not literally, but mentally, emotionally, physically. Wake up sore, be misunderstood, get rejected, work in silence with no applause, push through exhaustion when no one's watching. Pain is the signal that you're doing something hard, and hard things are what create transformation. People who avoid pain stay the same. People who lean into it become different. Pain teaches, it exposes weakness, but not to shame you, to train you. You find out who you really are when you're under pressure, when it's heavy, when it hurts. That's when the excuses fall off and the truth shows up. You either break or you build, you either fold or you fight, and with every round of pain you survive, your threshold increases, your tolerance expands. What used to destroy you becomes your warm-up. That's what rebuilding really looks like. Not fake motivation or surface-level goals, but becoming so hardened by adversity that nothing rattles you anymore. Pain also kills entitlement. It strips away the idea that you deserve something just because you exist. It reminds you that every inch of progress must be earned. No shortcuts, no handouts, no luck. Just repetition, just resilience. Just getting hit and getting up again and again until you stop breaking. It's not glamorous, but it's real. And it works. Most people pray for the pain to stop. They ask for life to get easier. That's the wrong prayer. The right prayer is for strength, for the grit to endure, for the vision to keep going when it feels like hell. Because the ones who win aren't the ones who avoided the most pain. They're the ones who could carry it and still move forward. They used it. They turned it into fuel. They rebuilt themselves from it. You can't soften your way to greatness. You can't cry your way into confidence. The scars matter. The late nights, the silent battles, the inner wars, they matter. They shape you. And when you finally get to the other side of the pain, you don't just reach a goal. You become someone different, someone better, someone capable of more than you ever thought possible. Pain doesn't block the path, it is the path. And if you have the courage to walk it, you'll become unstoppable. Win in silence, work in chaos. This is the mindset of those who truly rebuild themselves. It's about detaching from the need to be seen, validated, or praised while you're doing the work. In a world obsessed with showing progress before it's real, this mentality is rare. Most people are too busy announcing their goals to ever achieve them. They talk about what they're going to do, who they're going to become, how they're going to change everything. But the ones who actually do it don't talk, they act. They don't need claps, likes, or approval. Their results will do the talking when it's time. When you win in silence, you don't waste energy performing for others. You don't post every workout, every step, every small win. You conserve that mental fuel and use it for what matters. The grind. Because the grind isn't pretty. It's not shareable. It's repetition. It's early mornings, late nights, self-doubt, failure, correction, and doing it all over again without applause. When you can keep going without recognition, you're dangerous. You're doing it for you, not for attention. That's real power. Working in chaos means you don't wait for perfect conditions. You move forward while everything around you is messy, unstable, uncertain. You don't get paralyzed when life gets hard. You adapt. You keep showing up. Even when your personal life is stressful, your finances are tight, or your emotions are all over the place. Most people fold the second life isn't smooth. They use chaos as a reason to pause. But if you can train your mind to focus through it, to keep building while everything else is shaking, you'll separate yourself from the crowd instantly. This mindset kills procrastination. You stop waiting for peace, motivation, support, or convenience. You realize those things might never come, but you have hands, you have a brain, you have hours in the day, so you build with what you've got. That chaos becomes your training ground. You get mentally sharper, emotionally tougher, and far more prepared than someone who only operates in comfort. When life throws punches, you've already taken worse in training. You don't crumble, you push harder. Staying silent also protects you. No one can sabotage what they don't see. No one can judge what they don't know about. You reduce noise, you limit distractions. You build a foundation so strong that by the time the world sees it, it's already finished, it's already undeniable. And at that point, you don't need to explain anything. You don't need to defend yourself. You've become something they never saw coming because you were busy working while they were busy watching. This is how real rebuilding happens. Quietly, relentlessly, in the background, in the storm. No spotlight, no audience. Just you, the work, and the fire inside you that refuses to die no matter how chaotic it gets. And when it's time, the results will speak so loud that you won't have to. Rebuilding yourself is not a motivational phrase. It's a war against your weakness, your excuses, your comfort, and your past. No one's coming to save you. No one's handing you discipline, drive, or direction. You either wake up and take full control of your life, or you stay exactly where you are, surrounded by average, buried under regret. Kill the victim mindset. Replace motivation with relentless discipline. Take control of your environment and starve your distractions. Reinvent yourself over and over until the old you is unrecognizable. Walk straight into pain and use it as your weapon, not your wound. And do it all in silence, in chaos, without applause, because your results will roar when it's time. This is your responsibility. This is your fight. Wake up and rebuild yourself, because no one else will.